Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to DHA Education System. Today we are going to start our lesson number 6 for C1 History. Before starting new topic, let's recap our previous topic which was about Haji Shariatullah, in which we studied about the establishment of Islamic State by Haji Shariatullah, especially in Bengal, reformation and purification of society from un-Islamic traditions and practices. He also discussed about awareness about Islamic obligatory duties in form of Raisi movement. He also tried to free the Muslims of Bengal from the evil forces. One more important topic which we have to cover up today, that is Titu Mir. And in CIA, only one question has been given, that is about who was Titu Mir. So related to this former question, I have some explanation for you guys, which is more than enough, in which we will write about Titu Mir was Sayyid Mir Nisar, who was Bengali. He reinforced traditional Muslim values. He was determined to free Bengal from the British rule. He organized a stand against the Zimidars. He set up his own rule near Kolkata with a small army. He built a bamboo fort at Narkalbaria in 1831 and defeated the British troops there. He was killed in battle in 1831. Now let's start the main topic of today's lesson, which is War of Independence 1857. For this topic, I have set 4 objectives, and by the end of the topic, students will be able to describe the reasons for the War of Independence 1857, analyze the event of War of Independence 1857, examine the reasons for the failure of the War of Independence, discuss the consequences after the War of Independence 1857. First is introduction, and the main content which we will discuss in this lesson today. It is a rebellion by the sepoys of the East India Company started in Meerut on May 10, 1857, termed later as India's first War of Independence. It is also known as the Great Rebellion. It spread to most parts of the northern India. If we talk about the major leadership of this revolt, in this Rani Lakshmibai, Nana Sahib, Tatiya Topi, who was known as Tantiya Topi, Birjis Kadra, and Kuwar Singh. They are the major leaders of this revolt. If we discuss about the immediate cause, so rumors that cartridges for the new infield rifle were greased with cow and pig fat, which angered the Hindu and Muslims. If we talk about the after effects of it, so dissolutions of the British East India Company in 1858, after this direct governance by the British Crown started in India, and complete system administration started and enforced by the British and came under control of British government. Let's start the introduction. This is a topic that can still arouse emotions and arguments among the Indians. It was 1857, which was a turning point for the Indians, in which Hindu, Muslim, British, they all are involved. The events shook the confidence of the British rulers. For the first time, native people had seriously challenged British imperialism. Relations between the Muslims and the British worsened after this war, and at this point, the journey that was to take exactly 90 years to create Pakistan can be said to have started. Now here we have some long-term and short-term causes. Long-term causes resentment at growing westernization. All those British westernization program, the policies, their custom, culture, which were introduced by the British, they came in India, which annoyed and not heartily welcomed by the Indians. Doctrine of lapse, which is basically the annexation policy. Land tax system, Christian missionaries who try to force the Indian to convert them into Christians. Short-term cause, we talk about the British using oath and other areas, use of new type of grease cartridges, long prison sentences, boys who refuse to use the cartridges. So this is the main cause of this war. Now let's start the history and events in detail. War of Independence is an important landmark in the history of subcontinent. This war was fought in 1857 by Indians against the British in order to get rid of their domination. It is also given name as Indian Rebellion, Indian Mutiny as well as the Indian Revolt. The main event which became the immediate cause of the war was the refusal of the sepoys to use a covered cartridges, and it was greased with fat of pig or cow on January 23rd, 1857. At the same time, an Indian sepoys killed two British officers at Barakpur, which when he was forced to use grease cartridges. He was arrested and hanged to death on April 8, 1857, and this news spread as fast as Shengal fire. Now, this actually lesson or this topic is divided into two lessons. So, in this lesson, we will only talk about and we will discuss about the main causes of this war. In detail, we will talk about and which will discuss political causes, social causes, economical, military, and religious causes of the War of Independence. And in next lesson, inshallah, next week we will cover up a different topic about War of Independence, which will be about the failure of the War of Independence, in which we will discuss about the mutual jealousies, disunity, and lack of central leadership, etc. And this war was not spread throughout India, but it was limited to few areas, mainly Meerut, Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, etc. So we cover up these last two topics in next lesson. So this week and in this lesson, we are going to cover the main causes in detail about the War of Independence. Let's see. So here we have the concept of the War of Independence, 1857, political, social, religious, economical, and military causes. Now have a look and go in detail one by one. First is political causes. Number one, British policy of expansion. Outright wars, subsidiary alliance, doctrine of lapse, annexation of Oudh. We will go in detail right now after a few minutes. Disrespect shown to Bahadur Shah, treatment given to Nana Sahib and Rani Lakshmibai, absentee sovereignty of British. So here we have detail. Number one, British policy of expansion. The British expanded their political power in India four ways. Number one, by outright wars. To expand their territory, India, British fought many wars like War of Buxar, Anglo-Mysore War, Third Anglo-Maratha War, Second Anglo-Sikh War, and then if we talk about the subsidiary alliance, which was introduced by Lord Wellesley, this system in which Indian states were brought under the British control without annexing them. Under this system, Indian rulers agreed to accept British as supreme power. They have to maintain British troops at their own cost and virtually lost independence. Doctrine of lapse, it is another policy which was introduced by the British, and it was introduced by Lord Dalhousie. Lord Dalhousie annexed many Indian states using doctrine of lapse, according to which heirs adopted without consent of the company could inherit only the private property of the deceased ruler, and his territory would come under the company's rule. Example, in 1853, ruler of Jhansi died without natural heir, and Widow Rani was retired, and their adopted son Anand Rao was not recognized as the successor to throne. So states of Satara, Nagpur, Udaipur, these all created the same points and same problems they had at the time. On the pretext of alleged misrule, annexation of Oudh is there. Lord Dalhousie annexed Oudh on 13th Feb 1856 on the pretext of alleged misrule. British broke their promises given to ruling chiefs. People had to face more hardships, had to pay higher taxes and revenues, problems of unemployment rose, property were confiscated, 75,000 sepoys were worst affected and didn't like what British did in Oudh. So it created resentment among the Indians against British. Here we have disrespect shown to Bahadur Shah, which created also problems. So Bahadur Shah, a Mughal ruler, was under protection of the company, but after his death, Lord Dalhousie announced that ruler's widow Zeenat Mahal and successor can't use Red Fort as palace. And in 1856, Lord Canning announced that the successor can't use imperial titles. These hurt sentiments of the Muslims, of course, and they started their confrontation against the British. Here we have next topic, next point, that is in political causes, treatment given to Nana Sahib and Rani Lakshmibai. Bajirao to the last Peshwa was under the protection of